Okay, so basically, my name is Ty Shanahan, and I interviewed Kyle Keeves, who works in the Jaguars front office. Kyle graduated with his undergraduate in sports management from Tampa University in Florida. And Kyle works in the front office with the Jaguars, and on an average day, he says he has to do the books and keep records on the functions of everyday game day operations with the Jaguars, with like how things work within the organizations on game days, on Sundays, on Thursdays, and on Mondays. So some toughest problems and the stress of his work are like the public on game days, like fans who don't get their tickets on time or their tickets aren't scanning and stuff, like making sure the game day operations just go as planned. He says that can cause a lot of stress because I mean getting 70 to 100,000 people in a stadium isn't the easiest thing in the world. Um, his week, like outside of work, that revolves around work. He says that a lot of it is like during football season. Basically, it's work all the time. He has to make sure everything's perfect for the football game every week. But in the off season, he said he gets a lot of time off. There's not much to do. Obviously, he still has to work and still get things prepared for next year. But he doesn't have to work as much. When I asked him like what the starting salary of like his job title would be working in the front office in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Um, he mentioned around 40,000. I also did a little research because I know that's a little rude to ask some people how much they make. Since he's new in the job, he said, so I basically asked what his salary was. I felt a little rude about it. Some advice he gave me when I asked, like, what do you give someone new looking for this type of job in the future? He said that I'm very well suited for the job, looking to major in sports management as I am. He said it's a great idea. And he said since I live in like North Carolina, there's plenty of opportunities in North Carolina, like Charlotte and Raleigh, with professional and college sports teams. Some advice he gave me though was definitely get my master's. He said it pays more, and you could get like a higher up position sooner, and you can move up the ranks higher, and eventually get a big time management position in the front office, which pays much more than the starting salary. And some employers that hire, he said when I asked him like the demand of the job, he said that like employers hire people in this line of work are like professional and college sports teams basically. Like nobody else really needs anybody working in the front office unless you're like an athletic director of a high school or I don't know, like a major high school maybe, something big. And major cities, he said if you want to find a job like this, you're gonna have to look in big cities because that's where all the sports teams are at. Basically, he said I'm in a great place with Charlotte and Raleigh being right there, and Durham also in the area. He said when they hire people for this job, I asked him what are they looking for, and he said a personable person with a good background with a lot of sports knowledge is really helpful. He said a lot of it is based on like when you go in there and interview more so than like your schoolwork. He said obviously you have to have the schoolwork there to even start a talk to get in the front door. He said you got to have the school, but he said the biggest thing is during the interview how you present yourself and letting them know that you have a good knowledge in sports, and he said that helps a lot. I asked him where I could find jobs like this, like where are people looking for jobs, and he said look on the sports teams' websites. There's like an about page where you can like find what jobs they're looking for and what they need done. And he's when I asked him like how should I get started in doing this, he said honestly you're not in a much like you couldn't be in a much better place in Raleigh. So you got the Hurricanes right up the road. You got NC State, a huge Division I college. He said you can literally just ask people around you and people that you go to school with where you could get started, and they no doubt will help you out because it's just such a big sports community. But yeah, that's about it. The interview went very well. It was over the phone or over email. I talked to Kyle, and he's a family friend, so that's how I was able to get in touch with him. Thank you very much.